Welcome everybody, this is Alan with Daily Armor of God. Thank you so much for joining me today. Hope you're all doing well. This is my Reading the New Testament in 33 Days project, and we are on day 4. And today we will be finishing up Matthew chapter 23:6. So, let's go ahead and get started reading God's Word. Chapter 23. And Jesus spoke to the multitudes and to his disciples, saying, On the seat of Moses sat down the scribes and the Pharisees. All, then, as much as they may say to you to observe, observe and do, but according to their works do not do, for they say and do not do. For they bind together burdens too heavy and grievous to bear, and they lay them on shoulders of men, but with their finger they will not move them. And all the works they do to be seen of men, and they make broad their phylacteries, and enlarge their fringes of their garments. They also cherish the first couches at the banquets, and the first seats in the synagogues, and the salutations in the marketplaces, to be called by men, Rabbi, Rabbi. You may not be called Rabbi, for one is your teacher, the Christ, and you are all brothers. You may not call any of your father on earth, for one is your Father who is in the heavens. Nor may you be called teachers, for one is your teacher, the Christ. The greater of you will be your servant, and whoever will exalt himself will be humbled, and whoever will humble himself will be exalted. Woe to you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites, because you shut up the kingdom of heavens before men, for you do not go in, nor do you permit those going in to enter. Woe to you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites, because you eat up the houses of the widows, and for a pretense make long prayers. Because of this you will receive more abundant judgment. Woe to you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites, because you go around the sea and the dry land to make one proselyte, and whatever it may happen, you make him a son of Gehenna, twofold more than yourselves. Woe to you, blind guides, who are saying, Whoever may swear by the temple, it is nothing, but whoever may swear by the gold of the temple is debtor. Fools and blind, for which is greater, the gold or the temple that is sanctifying the gold? And whoever may swear by the altar, it is nothing, but whoever may swear by the gift that is on it is a debtor. Fools and blind, for which is greater, the gift or the altar that is sanctifying the gift? He therefore who swore by the altar swears by it, and by all things on it. And he who swore by the temple swears by it, and by him who is dwelling in it. And he who swore by heaven swears by the throne of God, and by him who is sitting on it. Woe to you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites, because you give tithe of the mint, and the dill, and the cumin, and neglected the weightier things of the law, judgment, and kindness, and faith. These it was necessary to do, and those not to neglect. Blind guides, who are straining out the gnat and are swallowing the camel. Woe to you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites, because you make clean the outside of the cup and the plate, and within they are full of robbery and self-indulgence. Blind Pharisee, first cleanse the inside of the cup and the plate, that the outside of them may also become clean. Woe to you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites, because you are like the whitewashed graves, which outwardly indeed appear beautiful, and within are full of bones of dead men, and of all uncleanness. So also you outwardly indeed appear to men righteous, and within you are full of hypocrisy and lawlessness. Woe to you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites, because you build the graves of the prophets and adorn the tombs of the righteous, and say, If we had been in the days of our fathers, we would not have been partakers with them in the blood of the prophets. So that you testify to yourselves that you are the sons of them who murdered the prophets, and you filled the measure of your fathers. Serpents, brood of vipers, how may you escape from the judgment of Gehenna? Because of this, behold, I send you prophets and wise men and scribes, and them you will kill and crucify. And of them you will scourge in your synagogues, and will pursue from city to city, that on you may come all the righteous blood being poured out on the earth, from the blood of Abel the righteous to the blood of Zechariah son of Barachias, whom you murdered between the temple and the altar. Truly I say to you, all these things will come on this generation. Jerusalem, Jerusalem, that are killing the prophets and stoning those who sent you. How often I willed to gather your children together, as a hen gathers her own chickens under her wings, and you did not will. Behold, your house is left to you desolate. For I say to you, you may not see me from now on, until you may say, Blessed is he who is coming in the name of the Lord. Chapter 24. Having gone forth, Jesus departed from the temple, and his disciples came near to show him the building of the temple. And Jesus said to them, Do you not see all these? Truly I say to you, there may not be left here a stone on a stone that will not be thrown down. And when he is sitting on the Mount of Olives, the disciples came near to him by himself, saying, Tell us, when will these be? And what is the sign of your coming and the full end of the age? And Jesus answering said to them, Take heed that no one may lead you astray, for many will come in my name, saying, I am the Christ, and they will lead many astray. And you will begin to hear of wars and reports of wars. See, do not be troubled, for it is necessary for all these to come to pass, but the end is not yet. A nation will rise against nation, kingdom against kingdom, and there will be famines and pestilences and earthquakes in various places. And all these are the beginning of travails. Then they will deliver you up to tribulation, and will kill you, and you will be hated by all nations because of my name. Then will many be stumbled, and they will deliver up one another, and will hate one another. And many false prophets will arise and lead many astray, and because of the abounding of lawlessness, the love of many will become cold. But he who endured to the end, he will be saved. And this good news of the kingdom will be proclaimed in all the world for a testimony to all the nations. Then will the end arrive. Whenever therefore you may see the abomination of desolation that was spoken of through Daniel the prophet, standing in the holy place, whoever is reading, let him observe. Then those in Judea, let them flee to the mountains. He on the housetop, do not let him come down to take up anything out of his house. And he in the field, do not let him turn back to take his garments. And woe to those with child and those giving suck in those days. And pray that your flight may not be in winter, nor on a Sabbath, for there will be a great tribulation, such as was not from the beginning of the world until now, no, nor may be. And if those days were not shortened, no flesh would have been saved, but because of the chosen will those days be shortened. Then if anyone may say to you, Behold, here is the Christ, or here, you may not believe. There will arise false Christs and false prophets, and they will give signs and wonders so as to lead astray, if possible, also the chosen. Behold, I told you beforehand. If therefore they may say to you, Behold, he is in the wilderness, you may not go forth. Behold, in the inner chambers, you may not believe. For as lightning comes forth from the east, and also appears to the west, so will also be the coming of the Son of Man. For wherever the carcass may be, there the eagles will be gathered together. And immediately after the tribulation of those days, the sun will be darkened, and the moon will not give her light, and the stars will fall from the sky, and the powers of the heavens will be shaken. Then will appear the sign of the Son of Man in the sky, and then will all the tribes of the earth strike the breast, and will see the Son of Man coming on the clouds of heaven with power and much glory. And he will send messengers, his messengers, with a great sound of a trumpet, and they will gather together his chosen from the four winds, from the ends of the heavens to the ends thereof. And from the fig tree lean the allegory. When its branch may have already become tender, and it may put forth leaves, you know that summer is near. So also you, when you may see all these, you know that it is near at the doors. Truly I say to you, this generation may not pass away until all these may come to pass. The heaven and the earth will pass away, but my words will not pass away. And concerning that day and the hour no one has known, not even the messengers of heavens, except my Father only. And as the days of Noah, so will also be the coming of the Son of Man. For as they were in the days of Noah before the flood, eating and drinking, marrying and giving in marriage, until the day Noah entered into the ark, and they did not know until the flood came and took all away, so will also be the coming of the Son of Man. Then 2 men will be in the field, one is received and one is left, and 2 women will be grinding in the mill, one is received and one is left. Watch therefore, because you have not known in what hour your Lord comes. And know this, that if the master of the house had known in what watch the thief comes, he had watched, and did not permit his house to be broken through. Because of this also you become ready, because in what hour you do not think the Son of Man comes. Who then is the servant faithful and wise, whom his Lord set over his household, to give them the nourishment in season? Blessed is that servant, whom his Lord, having come, will find doing so. Truly I say to you that he will set him over all his substance. And if that evil servant may say in his heart, My Lord delays to come, and may begin to beat the fellow servants, and to eat and drink with the drunken, the Lord of that servant will arrive in the day when he does not expect, and in an hour of which he does not know, and will cut him off, and will appoint his portion with the hypocrites. There will be the weeping and gnashing of the teeth. Chapter 25. Then will the kingdom of the heavens be likened to 10 virgins, who, having taken their lamps, went forth to meet the bridegroom. And 5 of them were prudent, and 5 foolish. They who were foolish, having taken their lamps, did not take with themselves oil, and the prudent took oil in their vessels with their lamps. And the bridegroom lingering, they all nodded and were sleeping. And in the middle of the night a cry was made, Behold, the bridegroom comes! Go forth to meet him. Then all those virgins rose and trimmed their lamps, and the foolish said to the prudent, Give us of your oil, because our lamps are going out. And the prudent answered, saying, Lest there may not be sufficient for us and you, go rather to those selling and buy for yourselves. And while they are going away to buy, the bridegroom came, and those ready went in with him to the wedding feast, and the door was shut. And afterward come also the rest of the virgins, saying, Lord, Lord, open to us. And he answering said, Truly I say to you, I have not known you. Watch therefore, for you have not known the day nor the hour in which the Son of Man comes. For as a man going abroad called his own servants, and delivered to them his substance, and one he gave 5 talents, and to another 2, and to another 1, to each according to his several ability, went abroad immediately. And he who received the 5 talents, having gone, worked with them, and made 5 other talents. In like manner also he who received the 2, he gained also he other 2. And he who received the 1, having gone away, dug in the earth, and hid his Lord's money. And after a long time comes the Lord of those servants, and takes reckoning with them. He who received the 5 talents, having come, brought 5 other talents, saying, Lord, you delivered 5 talents to me. Behold, I gained 5 other talents beside them. And his Lord said to him, Well done, good and faithful servant. You were faithful over a few things. I will set you over many things. Enter into the joy of your Lord. And he also who received 2 talents, having come, said, Lord, you delivered to me 2 talents. Behold, I gained 2 other talents beside them. His Lord said to him, Well done, good and faithful servant. You were faithful over a few things. I will set you over many things. Enter into the joy of your Lord. And he also who has received the 1 talent, having come, said, Lord, I knew you, that you are a hard man, reaping where you did not sow, and gathering from where you did not scatter. And having been afraid, having gone away, I hid your talent in the earth. Behold, you have your own. And his Lord answering said to him, Evil servant and slothful, you had known that I reap where I did not sow, and I gather from where I did not scatter. It was necessary for you then to put my money in the moneylenders, and having come I received my own with increase. Take therefore from him the talent, and give to him having the 10 talents. For to everyone having will be given, and he will have an overabundance. And from him who is not having, even that which he has will be taken from him. And cast forth the unprofitable servant into the outer darkness, where there will be weeping and gnashing of teeth. And whenever the Son of Man may come in his glory, and all the holy messengers with him, then he will sit on a throne of his glory. And all the nations will be gathered together before him, and he will separate them from one another, as a shepherd separates the sheep from goats. And he will set the sheep indeed on his right hand, and on the goats on the left. Then the king will say to those on his right hand, Come, let us come, the blessed of my Father, inherit the kingdom that has been prepared for you from the foundation of the world. For I was hungered, and you gave me to eat. I thirsted, and you gave me to drink. I was a stranger, and you received me. Naked, and you clothed me. I was sick, and you looked after me. I was in prison, you came to me. Then will the righteous answer him, saying, Lord, when did we see you hungering, and we nourished? or thirsty, and we gave you drink? And when did we see you a stranger, and we received, or naked, and we clothed? And when did we see you alien or in prison, and we came to you?" And the king answering will say to them, "Truly I say to you, inasmuch as you did it to one of these my brothers, the least you did to me." Then will he say also to those on the left hand, "Go from me, the cursed, into the continuous fire that has been prepared for the devil and his messengers. For I hungered, and you gave me nothing to eat. I thirsted, and you gave me nothing to drink. I was a stranger, and you did not receive me. Naked, and you did not clothe me. Sick and in prison, you did not look after me." Then they will answer, they also say, "Lord, when did we see you hungry and thirsting, or a stranger, or naked, or sick, or in prison, and we did not minister to you?" Then he will answer them, saying, "Truly I say to you, inasmuch as you did it not to one of these, the least, you did it not to me. And these will go away into continuous punishment, but the righteous into continuous life." Chapter 26. And it came to pass, when Jesus finished all these words, he said to his disciples, "You have known that after 2 days the Passover comes, and the Son of Man is delivered up to be crucified. Then were gathered together the chief priests and the scribes and the elders of the people into the court of the chief priests, who was called Caiaphas. And they conciliated together to that they might take Jesus by guile and kill him. And they said, "Not in the celebration, that there may not be a tumult among the people." Jesus having been in Bethany, in the house of Simon the leper, there came to him a woman having an alabaster box of ointment, very precious, and she poured on his head as he is reclining. And having seen it, his disciples were much displeased, saying, "To what purpose is this waste? For this ointment could have been sold for much and given to the poor." And Jesus, having known, said to him, "Why do you give trouble to the woman? For a good work she worked for me. For you always have the poor with you, and you do not always have me. For she, having put this ointment on my body for my burial, she did it. Truly I say to you, wherever this good news may be proclaimed in the whole world, what this one did will also be spoken of for a memorial of her." Then one of the 12, who is called Judas Iscariot, having gone to the chief priests, said, "What are you willing to give me, and I will deliver him up to you?" And they weighed out to him 30 pieces of silver. And from that time he was seeking a convenient season to deliver him up. And on the first day of the unleavened bread, the disciples came near to Jesus, saying to him, "Will you that we may prepare for you to eat the Passover?" And he said, "Go away into the city to such a one, and say to him, The teacher says, my time is near. Near you I keep the Passover with my disciples." And the disciples did as Jesus appointed them, and prepared the Passover. And evening having come, he was reclining with the 12, and while they are eating, he said, "Truly I say to you that one of you will deliver me up." And being grieved exceedingly, they began to say to him, each of them, "Is it I, Lord?" And he answering said, "He who did with me in the hand in the dish, he will deliver me up. The Son of Man indeed goes, as it has been written concerning him, but woe to that man through whom the Son of Man is delivered up. It were good for him that if that man had not been born." And Judas, he who delivered him up, answering said, "Is it I, Rabbi?" He says to him, "You have said." And while they were eating, Jesus had taken the bread, and having blessed, broke, and was given it to the disciples, and said, "Take, eat, this is my body." And having taken the cup and have given thanks, he gave to them, saying, "Drink of it all, for this is my blood of the new covenant, that is being poured out for many for forgiveness of sins. And I say to you that I may not drink from now on this produce of the vine until that day when I may drink it with you in the kingdom of my Father." And having sung a hymn, they went forth to the Mount of Olives. Then Jesus says to them, "All of you will be stumbled at me this night, for it has been written, I will strike the shepherd, and the sheep of the flock will be scattered abroad. But after my having risen, I will go before you into Galilee." And Peter answering said to him, "Even if all will be stumbled at you, I will never be stumbled." Jesus said to him, "Truly I say to you that this night before rooster crowing 3 times you will deny me." Peter says to him, "Even if it may be necessary for me to die with you, I will not deny you." In like manner also said the disciples. Then Jesus comes with them to a place called Gethsemane, He says to the disciples, "Sit here until having gone away. I'll pray over there." And taking Peter and the two sons of Zebedee, he began to be sorrowful and to be very heavy. Then he says to them, "Exceedingly sorrowful is my soul to death. Abide here and watch with me." And having gone forward a little, he fell on his face, praying and saying, "My Father, if it be possible, let this cup pass from me. Nevertheless, not as I will, but as you." He comes to the disciples and finds them sleeping, and he says to Peter, "So, you are not able to watch with me 1 hour? Watch and pray that you may not enter into temptation. The spirit indeed is forward, but the flesh weak." Again, a second time having gone away, he prayed, saying, "My Father, if this cup cannot pass away from me except I drink it, your will be done." And having come, he finds them again sleeping, for their eyes were heavy, and having left them, having gone away again, he prayed a third time, saying the same word. Then he comes to his disciples and says to them, "Sleep on from now on, and rest. Behold, the hour has come near, and the Son of Man is delivered up into the hands of sinners. Rise, let us go. Behold, he who has delivered me up has come near." While he is yet speaking, behold, Judas, one of the 12, came, and with him a great multitude with swords and sticks from the chief priests and elders of the people. And he who delivered him up gave them a sign, saying, "Whomsoever I will kiss, it is he. Lay hold on him." And immediately having come to Jesus, he said, "Greetings, Rabbi," and kissed him. And Jesus said to him, "Friend, for what are you present?" Then having come near, they laid hands on Jesus and took hold on him. And behold, one of those with Jesus, having stretched forth the hand, drew his sword, and having struck the servant of the chief priests, he took off his ear. Then Jesus said to him, "Turn back your sword to its place, for all who took the sword will perish by the sword. Do you think that I am not able now to call on my Father, and he will place beside me more than 12 legions of messengers? How then may the writings be fulfilled, that thus it must happen?" In that hour Jesus said to the multitudes, "Did you come forth as against a robber with swords and sticks to take me? Daily I was with you sitting, teaching the temple, and you did not lay hold on me. But all this has come to pass, that the writings of the prophets may be fulfilled." Then all the disciples, having left him, fled. And those laying hold on Jesus led him away to Caiaphas, the chief priest, where the scribes and the elders were gathered together. And Peter was following him far off to the court of the chief priests, and having gone within, he was sitting with the officers to see the end. And the chief priests and the elders and all the council were seeking false witness against Jesus, that they might put him to death. And they did not find, and many false witnesses having come near, they did not find. And the last 2 false witnesses having come near said, "This one said, I am able to throw down the temple of God, and after 3 days to build it." And the chief priests having stood up said to him, "Nothing you answer? What do these witness against you?" And Jesus was silent, and the chief priests answering said to him, "I adjure you by the living God, that you may say to us if you are the Christ, the Son of God." Jesus says to him, "You have said. Nevertheless I say to you, hereafter you will see the Son of Man sitting on the right hand of power, and coming on the clouds of heaven." And the chief priest tore his garments, saying, "He has slandered. What need have we yet of witnesses? Behold, now you heard his slander. What do you think?" And they answering said, "He is worthy of death." Then they spit in his face and punched him, and others slapped, saying, "Declare to us, O Christ, who he is that struck you." And Peter was sitting in the court outside, and there came near to him a certain maid, saying, "And you were with Jesus of Galilee." And he denied before all, saying, "I have not known what you say." He having gone forth to the porch, another female saw him, and says to those there, "And this one was with Jesus of Nazareth." And again he denied with an oath, "I have not known the man." And after a while those standing near, having come, said to Peter, "Truly you also are of them, for even your speech makes you evident." Then he began to curse and to swear, "I have not known the man." And immediately a rooster crowed. And Peter remembered the saying of Jesus, he having said to him, "Before a rooster crowing, you will deny me 3 times." And having gone outside, he wept bitterly. Chapter 27. In morning having come, all the chief priests and elders of the people took counsel against Jesus, so as to put him to death. And having bound him, they led him away and delivered him up to Pontius Pilate, the governor. Then Judas, he who delivered him up, having seen that he was condemned, having regretted, brought back the 30 pieces of silver to the chief priests and to the elders, saying, I sinned, having delivered up innocent blood. And they said, What is that to us? You will see. And having cast down the pieces of silver in the temple, he departed, and having gone away, he strangled himself. The chief priests, having taken the pieces of silver, said, It is not lawful to put them into the treasury, seeing it is the price of blood. Having taken counsel, they bought the potter's field with him for burial of strangers. Therefore that field was called Field of Blood to this day. Then it was fulfilled that spoken through the prophet Jeremiah, the prophet, saying, And I took the 30 pieces of silver, the price of him who has been priced, whom they, the sons of Israel, priced, and gave them for potter's field, as the Lord appointed to me. And Jesus stood before the governor, and the governor questioned him, saying, Are you the king of the Jews? And Jesus said to him, You say it. And in his being accused by the chief priests and elders, he did not answer anything. Then Pilate says to him, Do you not hear how many things they witness against you? And he did not answer him, not even to one word. So the governor wondered greatly. And at the celebration, the governor had been accustomed to release one to the multitude, a prisoner, whom they willed. And they had noted prisoner then called Barabbas. Therefore they, having been gathered together, Pilate said to them, Whom do you will that I may release to you, Barabbas or Jesus, who is called Christ? For he had known that they had delivered him up because of envy. And as he is sitting on the judgment seat, his wife sent to him, saying, Nothing to you and to that righteous one, for I have suffered many things today in a dream because of him. And the chief priests and the elders persuaded the multitudes that they might ask for themselves Barabbas, and might destroy Jesus. And the governor answering said to them, Which of the two will you that I may release to you? And they said, Barabbas. Pilate says to them, What then will I do with Jesus, who is called Christ? They all say to him, Let him be crucified. The governor said, Why? What evil did he do? And they were crying out the more, saying, Let him be crucified. Pilate, having seen that it profits nothing, but rather tumult is made, having taken water, he washed the hands before the multitude, saying, I am innocent from the blood of this righteous one. You will see to it yourselves. And all the people answering said, His blood is on us and on our children. Then he released Barabbas to them. Having scourged Jesus, he delivered him up that he may be crucified. Then the soldiers of the governor, having taken Jesus to the praetorium, gathered to him all the band, and having unclothed him, they put on a crimson cloak around him, and having plaited him a garland out of thorns, they put it on his head, and put a reed in his right hand. Having kneeled before him, they were mocking him, saying, Hail the King of the Jews! And having spit on him, they took the reed and were striking on his head. And when they had mocked him, they took off the cloak from him and put on his own garments on him, and led him away to crucify him. And coming forth, they found a man, a Cyrenian, by the name Simon. They impressed him that he might carry his cross, and having come to a place called Golgotha, which is called Place of the Skull, they gave him vinegar mixed with gall to drink, and having tasted he would not drink. And having crucified him, they divided his garments, casting a lot, that it might be fulfilled, which was spoken by the prophet, They divided my garments to themselves, and they cast a lot over my clothing. And sitting down, they were watching him there, and they put up over his head his accusation written, This is Jesus, the King of the Jews. Then 2 robbers are crucified with him, one on the right hand, one on the left. And those passing by kept slandering him, wagging their heads, and saying, You that are throwing down the temple, and in 3 days building it, save yourself if you are the Son of God. Come down from the cross. And in like manner also, the chief priests, mocking with the scribes and elders, said, He saved others. He is not able to save himself. If he is King of Israel, let him come down now from the cross, and we will believe him. He has trusted on God. Let him now deliver him if he wants him, because he said, I am the Son of God. With the same also the robbers who were crucified with him were reproaching him. And from the 6th hour darkness came over all the land to the 9th hour. And about the 9th hour Jesus cried out with a great voice, saying, Eli, Eli, lama Sabachthani, that is, my God, why did you forsake me? Certain of those standing were, having heard, said, He calls for Elijah. And immediately one of them, having run and having taken a sponge, having filled it with vinegar and putting it on a reed, was giving him to drink. But the rest said, Let alone, let us see if Elijah comes about to save him. And Jesus, having again cried with a great voice, yielded the spirit. And behold, the veil of the temple was torn in two from top to bottom, and the earth quaked, and the rocks were split, and the tombs were opened, and many bodies of the holy ones who had fallen asleep arose. And having come forth out of the tombs after his rising, they went into the holy city, and appeared to many. And the centurion and those with him watching Jesus, having seen the earthquake and the things that were done, were exceedingly afraid, saying, Truly this was God's Son. There were many women beholding him from afar, who followed Jesus from Galilee, ministering to him. Among whom was Mary the Magdalene, and Mary the mother of James and Joseph, and the mother of the sons of Zebedee. And evening having come, there came a rich man from Arimathea named Joseph, who also himself was discipled to Jesus. He, having gone near to Pilate, asked for himself the body of Jesus. Then Pilate commanded the body to be given back, and having taken the body, Joseph wrapped it in clean linen, and laid it in his new tomb that he hewed in the rock. And having rolled a great stone to the door of the tomb, he went away. Now Mary the Magdalene was there, and the other Mary sitting opposite the grave. And on the next day, that is, after the preparation, the chief priests and the Pharisees were gathered together to Pilate, saying, Lord, we have remembered that this deceiver said while yet living, After 3 days I rise. Command then the grave be made secure until the third day, lest his disciples, having come by night, may steal him away, and may say to the people, He rose from the dead. And the last deceit will be worse than the first. And Pilate said to them, You have a guard, go away, make it secure, as you have known. And they, having gone, made the grave secure, having sealed the stone together with the guard. Okay, I think this is where I'm going to leave it here, and we'll finish tomorrow. But yeah, that's going to be it. Thanks guys so much for watching, listening. Hope you all have a great evening, morning, noon, wherever you're at. And as always, TTFN, ta-ta for now. Take care, God bless, remember to put God first in everything you do. Trust in Him, have faith in Him, wait upon Him, and you'll never be sorry. We'll see you tomorrow with the rest of Matthew and the start Mark. Thanks again, see you later.